Alright, so in this one, we are going to be doing my monthly tier list. It's been a minute. We haven't done one since like the end of last month because not many LS and or Ultras have dropped. And obviously with Cell's plat, I honestly could have made a video when he got his plat, and it would have been a lot different in the tier list. But Cell's plat came, and then we have the 17-18 that just came out. So it is time. How the stars will be rated is LFs, I'm rating at 9. The reason for this, I'm going to explain it after I explain the Ultras. Ultras will be rated at 10. Again, let me explain this real quickly. LFs, because there's been a multitude of LF banners where a lot of LFs have returned, and at this point, you know, there's a lot of Z power coming from those banners. You are getting stars on your LFs a lot more frequently. You know, Cell, personally, my Kid Buu, my Rose, they went from 8 to 13. They went from 7 to 14. Like, they've gotten a lot of stars. And personally speaking, I have a lot of these LFs at least a higher star threshold of like 10, 11, 12. And then I'm seeing a lot more in PvP, a 7, 8, 9, maybe minimum 6 star of like Cell, 8, Full Power Frieza, all these newer LFs. And it's like, okay, you kind of have to increase the gap here. So I will say 9 star for LFs and Ultras at 10 stars because, well, Ultra Gogeta, everyone, you know, kind of had the idea the first Ultra was coming. So everyone should have him at a decent star threshold. If you have an 8 to 10, I don't think that'll actually change his placement, by the way. So if you have Ultra Kaioken at 8, if you have Ultra Gogeta at 8, I still think they're in the same placement. So just to say that. But gonna rate them at 10 is because it's only 3 copies to pull. I think it's 3, right? Yeah, it's 3 copies to get these Ultras 10 stars. I know it's hard banners, but it is only 3 copies. And, you know, if I'm running LFs at 9, which is a lot more copies, I think increasing that star rating does make sense as well. And just to get into it, let's begin. I feel bad about one of these units, and they're already at the top of the list, and it is a sad sight for them. But, first one, alright? Well, good order. Cell. Cell, I think, is the second best LF in the game. Cell, right now, he has... I don't know what I rate this team. He has one of the better teams in the game. I would say Future Han. You know, yellow, Future Gohan, obviously, the LF there. 17-18, and then Cell. That cohesiveness with 17-18 giving support on their new combos, with Gohan being able to give support on his disruption / taking combos. You just have infinite and infinite and infinite damage on top of Dragon Ball reduction from 17-18. From Cell, you have Cell individually being a god doing damage to yellows, because the strong yellow right now is Future Gohan, and that guy just being everywhere. Well, Future Gohan's not the tankiest unit. So Cell being a purple, doing extra to hybrids, doing all these extra things he can do. With this plat, without his plat even, he does very good damage, right? Cell can nuke yellows to a far extent. Cell has, again, that massive support for Future Gohan from 17-18 that, again, is offered to everyone in the game. Just to mention, 17-18 and Future Gohan support offers to everyone, which substantially increases their value, just to say that, because I know I'm going to have a hot take with them. But Cell, I think he is right there alongside the #1 LF. I don't think he's as good as the Ultras. I think the Ultras, well, one of the Ultras, is still a league above Cell. But damn, Cell got a plat. You know, I was saying earlier in the other video of Evo that Evo needs a plat. Man, Cell got a plat that is G4 level, if not better, honestly, because he got a lot on that. He got basically the same damages on top of, he already had his whole like kit filled out. He didn't need any like quirks fixed to his kit. G4 needed like that second unique just fulfilled, right? It was just, it felt like a half a unique. G4 got that on his plat. Well, Cell got an extra unique from the 3rd unique of the equipment by getting him the Vanish back, or the Gauge back rather, up to 35% on your initial come in, and then base health. Cell got a big buff. Cell, again, on that setup, which I don't know how I'd rate it. I'd say it's minimum top 5 of 17-18, Future Gohan, Cell himself. That setup, it feels like one of the best teams in the game, and it's only been like around for a little bit, and it's like, it's not even about 17-18 carrying that. It's about Cell being able to do as much work as 17-18, and 17-18 are also boosted, just to remind you guys there. But yeah, Cell, I think, is the second best LF in the game right now. By the way, this is right now, while whoever's boosted is boosted. Yes, that factors into my opinion, because obviously I cannot test these units unboosted. It's just how it works, right? So if this unit's boosted, and then they're higher up, that'll probably change when they lose their boost, right? Kind of how that works out. Because I know people might be like, oh my god, I can't rate a unit when they're boosted. You can. It's just, it'll change. It's just how it works, right? But Cell, second best LF in the game, in my opinion. Vegito Blue, he's just bad. I'm sorry, he's just bad. If he doesn't need a plat, he needs a Zenkai. He needs one of the two, right? I think he's in a spot where he needs to get one of those two. Obviously, this list will adjust as we continue, and at the end, it will be fulfilled, right? So just watch through and you will see. FSK, I think FSK is the second best red in the game right now. I would always debate between Omega, CMZ, and FSK. I always thought CMZ was a little bit of the wayside, like he's like, you know, an alternate option. But FSK definitely is a better red in the game right now. You still have that cohesiveness with Ultra Kaioken. You could run maybe Green Rival Gohan and have an all Blast-based Sun Family team that actually can work out pretty well. I've seen it. It was in the last video as well. It can do pretty well. So FSK, I would say he's S tier. I think he's going to be on the higher end here. I'm not sure completely yet, but just trying to see what I've gone through and played with and all these things. I think FSK still can do a lot of work. And definitely still has what he wants, which is the big damage, right? He wants that big damage. He does that big damage. You know what? If he does everything, why would he fall down that much? He can't. And there's also a pretty strong yellow in the meta right now, so it's like, you know, and even to pin on Cell's fact of he does good damage to yellows, Ultra Kaioken also takes quite a bit of damage from Cell. Future Gohan and Ultra Kaioken both take quite a bit of damage from Cell, so again, it just amplifies his placement. On top of it, they have a great red on their team, right, with 17-18. Jiren, I have memed Jiren for quite a bit because I think Jiren is a little overgassed by just everywhere I see him talked about, personally from my experience of even showing him in videos against me, using him, right? I've never been overwhelmed by him. I think he is a solid option. I think what makes him not great, at least to me, is obviously that he doesn't have a red with him. If you look at any of his teams, you have Red Kale, you have Bergamo, and I don't know, let's say you throw him on LOE, which I think is a mistake. You have Red Frieza. Okay, well, none of those three reds are good enough. Like, they're fine, they're okay, but they're not good enough to compete with, like, Angel Golden Frieza, with Cell, with FSK, with the G4. They're not good enough, right? They're sizable units, but they're not great enough. Jiren does not have that partner alongside him, similar to how Riku got Halo Vegeta as a partner, right? Jiren doesn't have that Halo Vegeta-esque unit alongside him. So I think while Jiren is very good on USS, and that USS team of Ultra Kaioken, Angel Golden Frieza, and Jiren is still pretty nice, and Jiren does stall rush. Like, there's a lot of units that don't nullify endurance. I'm looking at one that does right there next to Jiren, but there's a lot of units that don't nullify endurance fully, and you know what? Jiren does stall rush. That's a great attribute to him. His damage might be subpar, in my opinion, in some spots, but he does do some mechanics that do give you longevity in a match, give you better comeback potential compared to your opponent, because they're scared to do this mechanic or do this situation, and Jiren can have some wonkiness that does help you in a lot of circumstances. So Jiren, I will say, is S+ tier. I'm not sure how high up in here he will be, but I do think he has some value. I just wish he had a better partner to where I could respect him a little bit more. I think he's good, but I don't think he's great, personally. Full Power Frieza. Full Power Frieza, I would say, is right next to Cell. Again, that team of 17, 18, Future Gohan, and Cell, I think is not better than LOE, but I think it works in a circumstance to where LOE has a struggle against it. LOE definitely will do better against, like, green, yellow Saiyans, right? Because you'll have Angel Golden Frieza, you have Full Power Frieza, then you could have, like, you know, Zenkai Frieza, Revival Frieza, whoever you want, and you kind of just make that work out. With Full Power Frieza here, I'm just trying to think of who he's taking care of. He could take care of Jiren, that's fine, but I don't think you're struggling to take care of Jiren in most circumstances, because Jiren's not the most insane tank from my experience here. Obviously, this is all my opinion, right? If you guys disagree, feel free, but just my opinion. Attempt to be respectful in the comments. It's always, with tier list videos, people are always like, I would say just dickheads, so attempt, right? If not, well, you know, do you. But Frieza, I would say, it's just individually. I think the units of Cell to Frieza, I think Cell's just a superior unit right now. Team-wise, LOE is better, but how you factor these lists, at least how I factor them, maybe it's incorrect to some people's opinion, but I think of team and individual unit. I can't speak. An individual unit, it outweighs the team, because LOE might be number one, but I think, again, I'm not for sure on this, but I think that team that I was referring to, again, I'm going to keep referencing because it's important, the 17-18 Future Gohan and then Cell team is, if not top 5, top 3 at the best. I don't know. I don't see a real negative to it. I'm thinking about it against LOE. I have 17-18 against Full Power Frieza. I have Cell, who's against Angel Golden Frieza. I have Future Gohan, who can handle the Zenkai First Swarm Frieza. And if I want to handle 17, or if I want a 17-18 handle Revival Frieza, that can happen. If I want Cell to handle Revival Frieza, well, he has a big anti-revival that really, you can't do anything. You literally can't play if Cell, like, makes you revive, because he's reducing your key recovery, your key by 100, like, you literally can't move. You're forced to take a tackle, and forced to take a combo, or double vanish. Like, that's what Cell does. And I feel like he can handle that well. I feel like LOE is handled well by that setup of Future right now. So yeah, I do think individually it does fall flat for Frieza in this spot. Not to say Frieza's bad. Obviously, Frieza's fucking amazing. But in comparison, I do think Cell has more value than Frieza, right? Yeah. Bardock. Oh, I want to cope for Bardock so much. But I tried him. I tried him at no boost, with boost, obviously with boost. I felt like his offenses could get somewhere to be a likable spot without boost. His defenses are okay still, because he can gain cut when the enemy switches and all that stuff, and he gets pretty decent cut at that point with a 10-star of my own at least. But he does no damage. Bardock is unfortunately in a spot where I'd put him below FSK, and he's probably going to be even lower as we continue, because Bardock, I wish there were a better spot to place him, but again, his damage just is too low in the beginning. It's similar to Evo. My complaints about him, his damage is too low in the beginning. While he does retain that damage, the stat spread of him being so, even without a great partner, without the, you know, comparable equips to like FSK or something like that, Bardock already needs a plat, unfortunately. It is what it is. I hate saying this because I do enjoy Bardock. I thought Bardock was very overhated on release, but seeing it now, it's like, you know, I can't lie. His damage is bad at this point. Even at peak, that situation of like, okay, 28 timer counts, I get very underwhelmed by his damage. I've done that video a few weeks ago when the season, well, last season reset actually, because that's when it ended his boost. We will see, by the way, for Jiren, where he goes after boost ends, because his boost is still active, I believe, right? But he definitely has been underwhelming to a big fault after I used him after boost ended. So yeah, this will factor, you know, the other placements of the units after their boost ends. Obviously, that'll be a different tier list though for a different month, right? That'll be when their boost ends. Okay, well now we see where they are now, right? Similar to Jiren, 17-18, whoever else is boosted. G4, I think G4 is below Frieza, and right there, Fusions, I don't think Fusions is in a perfect spot right now. It's interesting, because I look at it, I'm like, okay, well, G4 exists, well, Cell's right there, okay, Ultra Gogeta exists, well, okay, you can beat out my 17-18, and then I'm looking at it as, what about I switch to 18? Now, I know that's a circumstantial situation, but it's also a situation you can kind of control and make your own, and it's not me downplaying Ultra Gogeta at that point, it's me downplaying the other units. It's like, does G4 do enough with Future Gohan or Ultra Kaioken in the leader slot for like a yellow for fusions with Ultra Gogeta to make him higher? I personally don't think so. I think G4 has his one shining moment. I think he's had this for a good while now. He has one really good shining moment where he can do his ultimate, it goes neutral, and he's going to nuke the shit out of somebody, right? He has that moment, and I think G4 is just a sag-off after that. Like, I don't see any value in ever keeping G4 alive. Even when I use Bardock, and I know I'm a big Bardock coper, but I always felt, and you can disagree with this, fine, go for it. After G4's main, I'd be more comfortable trying to have Bardock clutch out than have G4 stay alive, because after G4's main, it feels like he's useless. Like, if I'm ever in a disadvantage, because with Bardock, you technically can't be disadvantaged when you're defending if someone's dead, right? If I'm ever at a disadvantage with G4, I can't come back. You can't. He is doing so little damage after you get that big situation for him, and it's like, man, like, you made him a big one-hitter quitter type of thing in that spot. Obviously, with support with like Future Gohan, he can do better, but individually, I think, again, it kind of falls in the same realm. I think Fusions is worse than the future team that I'm referring to, but individually, I think he also just falls flat because he has that really, like, one-shot type of scenario. I don't think there's much else to him besides that. Like, green card, okay, I'll just use Ultra Gogeta's because his is the same exact thing, besides doesn't destroy the hand, but instead it's just, I pop it at mid-range or long-range, wherever, and cancel attribute upgrades to the enemy. G4 does the same thing, but I have to land it. It's like I guess his blue card is nice because you could spawn 2 if you land 1 back-to-back and then, you know, whatever, catch people, whatever you do with it. But I think he is a much more one-hitter quitter, and with Fusions being, I mean, oppressed by LOE and oppressed by Future, it's tough. It's tough to be like, okay, Fusions is like that team. I think Fusions is still very good, but it's not as good as these other 2 teams that these 2 units kind of represent ahead of him, right? Future Gohan, this is a tough one. Future Gohan, it's always tough with units like this, because I value what he does so much, but does it overvalue what other units are? Future Gohan, I want to say, is... I kind of want to put him above G4. I'm trying to think. Where would you run him? You run him on that future... Oh, God, I run that future team. I keep thinking that future team, man. And people are going to be like, what do you mean that future team? Because like, you don't see it as a run because it just came out with the 17-18. If you don't have 17-18, you're probably not running it. But Future Gohan even flows well with Cell, and it's like... Okay. But he's starting... See, he's starting to fall off a little bit in his disruptiveness because he takes so much damage right now, because defenses aren't that high. Pre a green card. I'll say this. I'll put him below G4, but I think him and G4 are interchangeable, right? That's the only thing I'll say. I think... No, I'm changing my mind. No, I think he's above. I think the opportunity to run him on too many teams where he's just overall always doing what he wants to do is too strong. I think that future setup is too strong. I think there's too many strong spots for him to be, and that he does well, or for the team does well for him, whatever it is, that I think he is there. That might be a hot take, but I do feel like that. If you want to swap G4 and Future Gohan, fine, but it's like... I personally don't see G4's value as insane as it once was. And on top of, there's more purples. G4 has that good one-shot spot, but I'll be real, G4 is going to get, like, 3-carded by a purple if his big cut's all the way out of the way. And all I have to do for that is tap attack him, right? It's not the most, like, you know, rocket science thing. You get that off, you do a Cell strike into a blue, you're probably killing a G4. If your Cell has a plat equip, he has 9 stars, just like what we're rating them here. Probably killing a G4, and it just is how it is. Future Gohan, while he can't die very quickly, he at least can go neutral defensively, or, well, overall in general when someone's dead. So he kind of can have some more longevity than G4 in that certain spot, but sometimes you sacrifice Future Gohan. Whatever happens, he at least has that going for him, on top of the fucking amazing support he can't offer, right? Majin Vegeta, I don't really care. Tier 1, I guess. He's better than Vegito Blue, I guess. You know, I use him. He did okay. 8 Vegeta, though. He did pretty ass. Majin Vegeta, he's okay. Nothing spectacular. It is what it is. Kid Buu really disappointed me. I used him at 13 stars yesterday, and I'll be real. I was upset. Kid Buu got carried by Red 21, and Red 21's not a unit you ever see. Now, it doesn't mean they're bad if you don't see them, right? But you would assume if it's good, you would run into the unit more. So it's kind of like a wonky unit where it's like, okay, well, there's not really a great spot to run them. That's where Red 21 is right now, right? She carried Kid Buu, and that's 13-star Kid Buu. And he's rated 9 stars here. I want to say Kid Buu is above Majin Vegeta, but I don't even think he's S tier. I'll be real. Seeing how disappointing he did yesterday, he needs a plat equip badly. There's a lot of units that need a plat equip because the power creep in this game just skyrocketed beyond belief. Like, the Z tier to, like, mid-S tier, mid-S plus tier units and Z plus tier units do not equate to the units in S tier and below. You'll see that. Like, there's going to be a big difference between S plus to S. You'd be like, wow, like, some of these units came out the same year, and they're not even close to the units, and it's power creep, man. Power creep went fucking wild. 17, 18, I don't think they're the best unit in the game, but they are going to feel very strong. I think they are the best LF in the game right now. Yes, they are boosted. I am prefacing this because everyone will point this out. They are boosted. This is altering my opinion. Yes, because I am running them in PvP. If I'm running a PvP, obviously boost does matter. Now, why I think they're Z tier and why they're the best LF in the game, the tag mechanic obviously is great. They have, honestly, they're just a better GV, right? They do a lot of things with the Dragon Ball reduction, with 18 removing your vanish, with 17 having his green card given is a long animation, but it's at least a beam, right? So if you catch them doing something when you, like, I don't know, are switching out, I can't speak for long periods of time, apologize for my stuttering, when you're switching out, or whatever the hell happens, you can have 17, 18 do a lot of stuff on top of their big damage, on top of their big support. Like, if you really, like, learn this from 17, 18, and I'm going to explain it, every new combo they do, they give you support. Your allies. Everyone! So if you tap attack, single tap, tap attack, single tap, that's 50%. 50! That's a fuck ton of support. Right? You look at Cell, what's his entry damage? Like 140, 150 right now? With the plat? It's even higher probably? Cell's gonna fucking nuke. He's gonna nuke a yellow, like I've said. And there's all these yellows right here next to Cell, and it's kind of like, are they even tanky? Like, is Full Power Frieza tanky? I don't personally experience that. No, I see him do a lot of fucking damage. He's beat my ass a lot of times, but is he tanky? No. 17, 18 offer that setup of the tag mechanic, obviously countering out some blue units with the 18 aspect, having a good cover change, honestly, because there's quite a few blast units that are in the meta, you know, Ultra Kaioken specifically, Full Power Frieza, Angel Golden Frieza, and they have, obviously, a blast cover change that combos into a blue card. The blue card goes through Cut, which is very big, because a lot of units have Cut, and I believe a lot of these, you know, tag mechanic, I think Future Gohan and Trunks, and then GV also don't go through Cut, so 17, 18 doing that while building up. Basically, their best spot would be if you drop combo predicting an enemy switch, and or you just drop combo and catch them because they made a mistake, whatever. They look like a different tier of unit because how much their damage just goes up exponentially because they're scaling their own damage per card used, or landed rather, and then they get that extra support that's going on top of it. They look like literal demons. I'm sorry if you have not read into this, but from my experience, from videos, like, this is based off videos. I only play the game when I record, really. Like, it's like 99% of when I play the game. Their demonic power is far and away more oppressive than likes of G4, likes of Jiren, all these other units. They are, right now, in my opinion, the best LF in the game. Revival Gohan. Revival Gohan, I think, is funky. I'm not really, I want to say S+, but I don't even know if he's there. Let me look at, because I have stuff pulled up on the side here. What does he do in his pre and post that's like really good? He heals allies on pre. I think he's, I mean, he's okay now, I guess. He does more PO, which I guess there's, you know, there's 2 PO units, 3 PO units up there, right? I don't know. I don't know about him. If I'm gonna be real, he's purple. And I know Cell's purple, but Cell obviously has a very good unit alongside him. Who does Rival Gohan have alongside him? I'm not really sure. That could really beat up a fucking yellow. Because he's skill team and unit. What's his team? Strike hybrids? So you have what? The free Trunks, Drip Trunks, and Rival Gohan? Or Future Gohan, I guess, whichever one. Who are you relying on for damage? The free Trunks? And then you have double yellows if you have Future Gohan. So I guess you have Future Gohan, Drip Trunks, and then him. Who are we relying on for damage there? It's like, this guy won't do damage in pre. I think he's here, man. I'll be real. Yeah. I'm looking at these yellows, and, you know, they're good damage dealers. Future Gohan might not be the most oppressive damage dealer in the game, but fucking hell, when you have double support from himself and the other androids right there, it's like, his damage actually can do pretty well. Again, I've shown these off. I all these things I'm saying, they're in videos, right? It's not just speaking out of my ass. Yeah. He just does not anything, and I'm looking at the teams, okay, I'm thinking of movies, GV, Purple Gohan, and Deadku, I don't know, something like that, or USG, whatever. It's just USG carrying, it's not Gohan doing anything. He has the revival mechanic, which is fine, but then Cell's right fucking there, like, an anti-revival is right there that can literally beat his ass, and was designed to beat his ass on release. It's like, I think Revival Gohan doesn't have that great of value right now. It's pretty unfortunate, but I don't think he has that great of value. Gogeta Blue, Godkey definitely is in a great spot, which does factor his placement. I would say Gogeta Blue. Where is Gogeta Blue? I want to say Gogeta Blue is like here, tier 1. Yeah. Godkey's very good, so it gives him a buff. Obviously, there with like a, I don't know, yellow, green setup, or I guess if you don't have Ultra Kaioken, you run green, yellow. I don't know, something like that. He obviously is slow, which does hurt him, but he can do okay damage, he can do okay stuff. He's just not great, but he's not the worst in the game, right? Forku, I'm definitely respecting Forku more. I've seen a lot of Forku gameplay where he looks very, very demonic and very scary sometimes. So I want to say Forku is probably right here. Yes, Forku I do believe is better than Bardock, especially after this boost has ended. GT has never been a terrible team. I think the team of Forku, G4, and Omega is a very good core right now. And it's been a very good core for a good minute. It's just I never really saw Forku ever impress after seeing some stuff with him and seeing how he can actually do some things and turn the tides of matches. I definitely have seen Forku become a better unit individually, while, you know, having, okay, Omega take some hits, now Forku's building up, okay, have G4 take some hits, okay, now Forku's built up. Then you have Forku in a spot where he can really, like, clutch up and actually do something crazy, which, it's impressive, honestly. I am shocked to actually even say that. Goten. I don't even know where the hell I'd rate Goten. Where the hell is Goten? Goten's in a similar spot as Revival Gohan, if not worse off, honestly. Because Goten's fine, but it's like, your reliance is like, it's there, right? But you want to, I mean, you want to beat with FSK, because purple and red, which does help him, to be fair, like, a lot. Then you run, like, Future Gohan, I guess, is like your third. Goten, not better than Forku. You're not, no. Especially, look at the yellow. Yellows are there, like, colors matter, right? Again, I could make an argument for Cell because he has a red right there, the strongest red in the game, like, that's not even debatable, is 17, 18. So obviously having yellows right next to Cell, on top of those yellows being squishy, you know, you could debate why Cell's up there, but Goten, you know, there's yellows up there, Goten squishy, and they are good powerhouses, if not disruption, whatever you want to call them. Forku could even, like, one combo Goten at this point. Goten probably is worse off than Revival Gohan just because Revival Gohan has a revival mechanic, which gives him more survivability, and that's about that. Like, there's not much else to say. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Now, Godkey being green, yellow, probably being... It's a top 3 team, right? Maybe this future team, LOE, then Godkey. That's top 3 teams, if I'm just going to spit something out. Again, I stutter when I talk too long. Apologize for it. I want to say, because of that, I'm trying to think of it. I think Vegeta's better than Frieza. Yeah. Yeah. The potential of Godkey with green, yellow. Obviously, you factor in teams, once again. Ultra Kaioken being the best unit in the game. You know, shocker, sorry to spoil it, but he is the best unit in the game. His potential, it's high, man. And obviously, with green, yellow, you have double support there. You have Vegeta who can do that very good sniping. While you can bring Zenkai Frieza or Cell, I mean, Vegeta can even do good damage to purples, like, because you have that setup that's very Zenkai built, that's very defensive, that's very offensive. Like, you have everything for it, right? There's not much lacking in that green, yellow setup, because you have a sub countdown, you won't get Vegeta Rush, most likely. If you do, oh, well, you have Ultra Kaioken to carry you in the back. It's like, it's pretty hard to beat that setup. Obviously, it takes a little bit of a backseat now with Cell being this good, but I do think Vegeta individually outshines Frieza on top of just the potential Vegeta has with his sniping. It's very strong in my opinion that it just outweighs what LOE can do with the rush manipulation, because if I could snipe you with cards, I don't need my rush. If I could snipe your Angel Gold and Frieza with my Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, I probably win that match if you have Full Power Frieza and then, I don't know, Zenkai LF Frieza or, you know, Revival Frieza. I don't know why you bring Revival Frieza against Green Green Yellow, but if you have either of those units, I probably win that match, because Full Power Frieza, while he is good, he wants to leave and come in. Leave and come in. He wants to get his damage buffs reset. He wants to get his stuff going again and again and again. And if you can't do that, if you lose an LOE unit like Angel Gold and Frieza, that's a big powerhouse, and I think he's like a top 5 unit in the game. LOE is pretty easy to take care of. Again, you kind of have to get that potential going there. It's wonky, but if it does work, Vegeta is better. I do think Vegeta's potential is very high here. Maybe if you want to replace them and swap the two, I can understand it, but putting Vegeta lower, I feel like is it's just disrespectful, I would say. 8 Vegeta. 8. 8. Where the fuck do you even go, man? You're probably better than Bardock, I guess, because it's not too many blues. There is some blues, right? There's some yellows, though. Ape. Honestly, are you even better than Bardock? I don't know. I guess. For the sake of it. I don't really care about Ape's placement. I'll just say Ape's better than Bardock. Sure. Why not? Here. Oh, is Ape better than Goten? Color-wise, technically. Just where the fuck you running them. Because you run Goten with FSK, and that's like an okay setup, actually. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad, right? I'll just put Ape there. Ape is whatever. Who cares? Give him a Platypus. UI Goku, you're terrible. Bad. Who cares about the order of bad? It's bad. They're bad, right? They're shit. Give them help. Please, help them. CMZ. You know what? I'm going to move this. I think you're S+. I don't think you're as... I don't know what the word is. Inconsistent. I think Forku is a little bit inconsistent as Forku. I think FSK is very consistent in his big damage, so I think he's S+ tier. But CMZ, I also moved that because I think CMZ is probably also in a realm of S+ tier, right? I do think FSK is still the best red. I think with the big buff for future here with 17-18, CMZ definitely does gain value, but I do think CMZ is a little bit too slow. He can do nice things, right? With his green card, with his blue card, giving, you know, a green card from that, destroying the enemy's hand when they kill somebody, whatever. He can do nice things, but I feel like his slowness is very hurtful for him. Even 17-18 do have a slowness factor to them, to where they have to build up by landing arts cards, right? But at least with that, you have units alongside 17-18, like Future Gohan, that can give them support to kind of like amplify that. While CMZ can run Future Gohan, at that point the team's just too squishy. 17-18 do have 50% cut just innately. Again, they are boosted, but they have innate 50% cut, right? On top of they'll heal 4%. CMZ, while he can heal, it's circumstantial, I believe, his healing. If I could just actually pull it up here. I believe his healing is when he's below a certain HP threshold, then he starts healing on arts cards. And it is circumstantial, if I am correct. Let me make sure I'm remembering this correctly. Hello, where is it? Please, CMZ. Where's his unique? 80%, okay. Yeah. Also restore own health by 5% if own health 7% low. The androids do 4% forever, like whenever they land arts, right? Well, this is upon only usage, but 17-18 have longer combo potential because they have card draw speed. They can swap in and out, draw cards while they're swapping out after they land a card. They have better combo potential anyways, so... While CMZ has increased in value, I do not think CMZ makes it above FSK. I still think FSK can do better than CMZ, personally. Riku. Riku's horrendous. Riku's horrendous. If I want to respect him a little bit, sure, you could go like tier 1. I could honestly say he's bad and move on, but you go there, super slow, don't have a great team, replaced by your green Revival Gohan. You know it's a down bad situation when that happens. Beerus, you're bad. You need a double Zenkai at this point. Good luck with that. And a new Platypus on top of your awakened Platypus you already have. Then, Ultra Kaioken. I think he is the best unit in the game because Ultra Kaioken unequivocally does every fucking thing. I had a match yesterday where I had against a 17-18, and they were like, what, 8 stars? And Ultra Kaioken against 17, so I'm disadvantaged, and against, I believe, a Cell or something like that, which obviously I'm advantage to. Ultra Kaioken 1v2'd it. I didn't one combo 17-18, but I did probably 3 combos, and I had infinite vanishes, it felt like. I had infinite healing, it feels like. I had infinite green cards, it feels like. Infinite style time events. Ultra Kaioken is far and away the best unit in the game. They did him very well. They're going to do him in a very well-aging manner. He is boosted, you know, reminder of that, but what boost is going to do for him is lower his defenses, lower some offenses, but he's still going to have that infinite vanish, he's going to have that strike seal, he's still going to have that infinite healing, it feels like, that infinite green cards. He's still going to have all these big things that are the big tedious things about him, and, you know, it's going to scale him well to his longevity in PvP, which obviously means he is the best unit in the game right now. That'll probably be a thing until Anniversary at this point, if they don't power creep again, which Legends seems to do that a lot, with 17-18 being this high, right? Ultra Gogeta. Fun fact, I do not think Ultra Gogeta is better than 17-18. I think Ultra Gogeta is worse than 17-18. It's kind of a situation where I do feel like the fusion argument, because if I'm running Ultra Gogeta, typically I'm running on fusions. If I'm trying to like think of different teams, okay, Louis exists. Well, I have a Revival Mechanic Frieza. I don't really need him there, right? Like I personally wouldn't think that's a good spot. God Key. Well, green, yellow is just superior to that, right? Movies. Okay, movies is pretty much hurt because GV. Appreciate the ambulance. GV is more or less. You know what? Let's just let it pass. Give me a minute to breathe at least. I'll just drink some water while this passes, because I ain't cutting anything here. Yes. Appreciate the service. What movies, right? And GV, what do they offer? They offer good damage, but they are very paper. You run maybe Deku or Revival Gohan. Okay, you have some durability, but you're still relying on Ultra Gogeta to carry, and he can only do so much. There's a lot of situations, I feel like, and this is what's making this high anyways, where he, you know, has his ally rushed, then he comes in, opponent's locked in, they have no vanish because they vanished to get the situation going to where they rush the opponent, and maybe you could like fiddle around and kind of like, you know, sack off a different unit at that point. But you have a situation where Ultra Gogeta most likely just one combos that unit, beats their ass, he has that neutral, he has that lock-in, it's insane beyond belief, but I feel like with fusions taking a little bit of backseat to Future and LOE right now, and even to green, yellow God Key, Ultra Gogeta definitely falters in a spot of being above the androids. It's not to say he's bad, it's just that he is worse than that setup because of his setup being too dependent on him, and while his setup of G4 and whoever else, Ultra Kaioken, Future Gohan, Maju, Super Vegito, whoever you want to put, that setup relies too heavily on him, and I feel like because of that, his position falls. On top of 18, can like 2-card Ultra Gogeta, right? Like that's also a thing, because 17-18, obviously, tag unit, it gives them a lot of value, right? I know people disagree with that, but my take. Evolution Blue. Evo, I think, is worse than Forku. I used Evo 14 stars. He felt like dog piss, I'll be real. Evo... I was putting worse than Forku. I could put him below Revival Gohan and be kind of content with that, but worse than Forku, I think, is fine enough. Just takes too long. He needs a plat that gives him like 50% entry damage. Boom. He's fixed. Honestly, you give him that, he's probably like in Z plus tier. Like, I think the scaling of Z plus to Z tier is a big differential. That's why it's only one unit in there. Spoilers, once again. That's why I feel like if they give him that 50% just on entry, he has 90% right now, give him to 140, then he ramps and ramps and ramps and ramps, run on yellow, green, God Key. Holy shit, this guy's going to be a menace. But right now, he starts too slow, he takes too long to get his build up, it's hurtful. It's not as bad as Vegito Blue or Bardock, but fucking hell, it's bad. Like, it's really bad. He's only this high because how good God Key is, and he's a perfect color for it. If you don't have Ultra Kaioken, this is a sub option. It's not a great one in comparison to Ultra Kaioken, but it's a sub option, right? Zenkai Frieza, I did praise this guy quite a bit for a while, and I'm thinking about it now. I'm looking at these units up here. I'm like, I don't know about this praise right now, but I do think he is pretty valuable. I will say he is above Jiren. I could even throw him at the end of Z tier to really, like, you know, gas him, but I'll say for this sake that he is above Jiren, just because he is that better LOE purple unit. I know people like to say Jiren is, but This Frieza does way too much support. You're getting the pure equips to be fulfilled. You're getting a blue card spawning for your type neutral Angel Golden Frieza on blue card. You're getting the blue card spawning for your AoE full power Frieza blue card. It's like you're doing way too much. Lower sub count on the green card. Have that immobilized where you can just catch them and rush with anybody at that point. You're doing a lot with Frieza, getting a lot of support, a lot of disrupt, kind of like the same boat as future Gohan. And, you know, he just flows very much better than, I mean, any other purple you could run on LOE at that point, right? It makes the team a lot better off, given there's some spots you want to bring rival Frieza, because, you know, you're going to face off not against green, green, yellow, but green, green, yellow being so dominant, with some green still running around as being very crazy. Frieza obviously does have more value. If there's not too many yellows, he still can be run in the match. I know there's a lot of yellows up here, but if there's not too many, he still can be run and do good work. GV. Oh boy, GV. Oh boy. Do I rate you? I'm going to say this. GV's not Z tier. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but GV's not Z tier. I think Jiren's actually better than GV. I know. It's a tough thing to say. To hear, maybe. It's not tough to say. It's tough to hear. GV, they are paper, but they can do good damage, and the same unit does the same exact thing. FSK is, well, he's less paper, I guess, but he has obviously a more circumstantial team behind him and circumstances to get him to pop off, while GV can pop off on great damage most of the time, but fucking hell are they paper. Simple as that. They're not great anywhere specifically, like, as a perfect unit, but they do very well in some spots on their damage. All I can really say about them, 17-18 is just a better GV. That's basically it. Broly, bad. Again, bad tier is not ordered. Nobody really cares about it. Every other tier is ordered, but bad tier, no one gives a shit. They're all ass. Who cares? I know someone's going to say, oh my god, my Vegito Blue one-shot 17-18, they're Z tier. Like, I don't give a fuck, personally. Super Vegito. Oh, the mighty have fallen. Ho, ho, ho. Where the fuck do I place you, man? Oh my god, I'm gonna place him so low. No! Super Vegito! He's so slow! I've said this argument when using him and trying to run him. He's so slow in comparison to his team, because, again, I'm thinking the fusions, you have Ultra Gogeta, who just enters with his peak, basically gets gauged, then he's at peak. G4 enters at peak. Obviously, main ability helps him more with the neutral, but enters at peak. Super Vegito, he has to rebuild, given he does have 20 counts of it, sustaining his damage inflicted buffs, but he has to rebuild every other time, basically. And while he does do okay support, his color is not great, his damage himself is not great until, like, you pop main ability and you do all these really funky things going for him, which is, like, doing a lot of cards and getting a lot of cards back. You're worse than GV. You're worse than GV. I can honestly put you lower and be pretty content with that. I'll be really honest. But I'll put you there. Yeah, I'll put you there. I'll put you there for now. I might even move him, but he's so slow in comparison to his other units. It's pretty bad. Sword of Hope. Sword of Hope definitely has some value. I'll say that. Is it insane? No, like, Cell's right there, 17, 18 are right there, Full Power Frieza's right there, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta is right there, G4 is right there, like, there's a lot of motherfuckers that could beat Trunks' ass. But, he does have some usage with, like, a future setup here, right? Oh, does he really, though? I think Sword of Hope, I could have said this prior to 17-18 and Cell's Plat, and I felt this for pretty strongly. Sword of Hope is better than GV, but there's so many units beat Sword of Hope's ass. Like, I'm just looking at Z tier, it's like, everyone beats his ass. Like, half of Z tier, if not more than half, all beat his ass. I guess GV, like, they get their ass beat quite a bit, but it's not as fucking prominent, because they're always getting their ass beat. Is Sword of Hope actually still worse than GV? I think Sword of Hope and GV are interchangeable. I think you can say either or can be swapped out. It's pretty hard because Cell right now does exist. 17-18 do exist. Sword of Hope is getting fucked up because obviously the 18 side will fuck up Blues. By a lot of units, again, full power Frieza, G4, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, 18, Cell, like, that's a lot of motherfuckers that can beat his ass. So, while he might be a little bit better, I think they're interchangeable, for sure. Rose, you're dog shit. Get a Platypus, thank you. Get a Zenkai, really. Jesus Christ. Namek Goku, I think Namek Goku could be okay. Obviously, as the game just continues, he will probably just lose value because, well, his stats will fade and all these things. His stats haven't faded yet. I think he still does okay, but if I'm going to put him, I put him above, like, the Riku or something like that. He's okay. He's not great, but he's okay enough to run. Definitely does more than you would anticipate, but it's nothing, like, overwhelming, right? Then LF Piccolo. LF Piccolo is always, like, a sleeper unit to a lot of people. Same with Goten. LF Piccolo, I would say, is either bottom S plus or S tier, right? I'm trying to figure out which one. Is he better than Forku? G4, Omega, Forku. What's Piccolo's team? Like, what is his team? Revival Green Gohan, Piccolo, Cell. It's not that great synergy. For 21, I guess. Yeah. Just the GT team is better off than the Regen team, but Piccolo is individually a lot better than Evo, so I think he's right there, right? Again, this is a 9 stars for the Yellows and 10 stars for the Ultras. Yeah, I think Ultra Kaioken's just different tier of himself. Let me look this over. I think there might be 1 or 2 changes here, but overall, looking it over, Ultra Kaioken, number 1 in the game. I do feel that. I don't think anyone else can test him. I'm sorry if you disagree, but it's just my opinion, again. 17, 18, I think are the best LF in the game. Ultra Gogeta is right there, yes, because of how reliant he is to carry everything, while his team is... It's not as strong as it once was, right? Fusions is not as strong. It's just how it is. Cell, definitely on that setup with 17 and 18 and Future Gohan, is magnificent with his Platypus as well. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, God Key, Green, Yellow, insane setup, full power Frieza. It's not that his team is gotten worse, it's just that other teams have gotten better. LOE has definitely gotten a, I guess, contender for units that are good alongside them with 17, 18, with all these units above full power Frieza. While he's still good, there's obviously contenders that are equally as good, if not a little bit better, right? Future Gohan being on the setup of 17, 18, and Cell giving that constant support from himself in 17, 18 works out magnificently there. G4, again, he has that big one-hitter quitter type of thing for me, and I don't really see much value in him besides that, but it is a big one-hitter quitter, right? It's not like it's a small thing, it's a big one. Zenkai Frieza, the best purple LOE unit, and LOE being very strong makes sense. Jiren, if he had a better partner, he'd be higher, but Jiren is there just because he does okay. He stalls out some situations that are pretty good for you to stall out. Does work out there. Sword of Hope, while he is getting his ass fucked by a lot of counters above him, he does have at least some longevity, some durability. If you get his gauge early, he can look better than GV. He barely makes it above GV, but he makes it above GV again. I think they're interchangeable anyways. GV, while they're paper, they do good damage. Super Vegito takes too long. On top of just compared to his team, he takes way too long, and not the greatest color. Obviously, GV is an exception to this and all these others because Jiren has very good units alongside himself. Super Vegito rather. You're always running the same 3. With LOE, you can run any color and be fine with it. With Jiren, you can run any color on his teams and be fine with it. As the excuses for those purples. With Super Vegito, you're always running the same 3 with him, right? So it's like, it's pretty easy to just beat his ass. FSK, probably the best red just because his damage is still very good. You can run him on a set with Ultra Kaioken, Green Rebel Gohan. You're going to do a lot of damage there and still be able to do FSK things, right? CMZ, big buff, I would say, because of how Future has gotten a big upgrade, but still a subpar option to the 17-18. Then these others just to skim over here. Forku, yes. Piccolo, yes. Evo, yes. Rebel Gohan, yes. Goten, yes. Ape, yes. Bardock, yes. Tier 1, Vegeta Blue, Namek, Riku, Kid Buu, Majin, Vegeta. I mean, Kid Buu's better than Riku, right? I guess. But, what do you guys think of my LF/Ultra tier list? And I'll see you guys in the next one.